This is the all-new Lexus NX compact luxury SUV. They already have the RX, but in about a year and a half, they're going to make the RX a little bit bigger, so they're going to have a ladder approach to their SUVs. And compact SUVs have taken off in popularity, the fastest growing segment in Canada, and this is Lexus' new approach. It's not going to be available until the end of 2014, but you're getting a look at the edgy design that they hope is going to attract young professionals to the brand. They proved this out with the IS, the very sharp-looking compact car. They're bringing in younger buyers and new buyers to the Lexus brand, and that's what they're hoping to do with this new product. There's several different trim levels to choose from, but basically three kind of models. The one you have here is the base 200T. That's got the brand new 2-liter direct injection turbocharged engine under the hood. If you want a more aggressive look, I'm not really sold on the front of this one. The one to get is the F Sport. It's got the same engine under the hood, but it's much more aggressive looking. The big spindle grille that they've incorporated across the brand, bigger wheels, and a more aggressive suspension. Then you have the 300H. That's the hybrid. It's only sold on the very top trim level, and Lexus estimates about 10% of buyers will choose the hybrid. Most will go for this one or the F Sport, which definitely looks more aggressive. It's a very edgy looking small SUV, and when you look at it initially, you're thinking, I don't know, do I like it? Do I not like it? If you squint though, you can see the basis of this vehicle, which is the Toyota RAV4. And they've modified it and made it into a true Lexus. It's very streamlined on the outside, and it looks like it might not have a lot of space on the inside, but it actually does. Well, Lexus certainly has some technological innovations with this new 2-liter direct injection 4-cylinder engine. It's not just direct injection. On idle, it's also port injection, which smooths it out when you're sitting at a stoplight. In addition, it can run on a conventional cycle or what's called the Atkinson cycle. It's very technical, but basically changes the timing of the engine to eke out as much efficiency as possible. Now, it reverts to the Atkinson cycle when the engine isn't under load. We're going down a hill now, but when you put your foot into it and you want more power, it definitely goes back to that normal mode. In addition, the turbochargers are twin scroll. There's a single turbocharger, but with the variable scroll, which has helped to get rid of that dreaded turbo lag. I do notice, though, right out of the pocket when you're going away from a stop, that there's definitely a bit of turbo lag. Once the revs pick up to about 1500 RPM, away you go. And it pulls away nicely. 235 horsepower, 258 foot-pounds of torque, and the power is going to all four wheels under some conditions. All of the NXs sold in Canada are all-wheel drive, but this is a front-wheel drive bias vehicle, meaning it's going to send as much power to the front wheels as often as possible to make it as efficient as possible. When you need that extra traction, when there's slippage, especially in Canada in the winter, it will revert up to 50% of the power to the back wheels. But in dry conditions like this, when you really get on the throttle, you get a little bit of torque steal, you get a bit of tugging at the steering wheel, but overall, it's not that bad. What I do notice though, this vehicle feels a little bit top heavy. You throw it into the corners and it floats through the corners and definitely is top heavy. We don't have the F Sport model here with the stiffer suspension, but that would be one to try for sure. Overall, at the essence, it's still a Lexus, smooth, refined, comfortable, now with just a little bit more edge. If you go back and watch my review of the Lexus RX 350 F Sport, I commented that the interior was nicely put together, but the overall design was starting to look dated. Well, this is the direction they're going, and I kind of like it. It looks like a combination of the IS and some other Lexus products all put together. Now, first and foremost, you notice that spindle design on the outside of this NX is mimicked on the inside. So you've got that framed. And beside it, soft touch materials on the side. If you watch my reviews, you know I always complain about that, so it's nice to see that on the side. Above that, you have the heat and ventilation controls and a 7-inch screen that comes standard on all NX models. Below that, we have the new trackpad controller. You might remember there used to be a mouse that you moved around. Now they've gone to a trackpad and you just push on it to enter. It's very simple. That's not standard equipment. It comes on the higher trim levels, but if you get the base model, you get a rotary dial, kind of like Audi's MMI system. This is all very simple and easy to use. You've got two cup holders, a nice sized glove box. Here's a nice little feature. Inside, you pull the top off this area and there's a compact mirror for people, well, women to check their makeup. I suspect most people will take this out and just kind of leave their cell phone in there. The steering wheel is similar to the IS. The controls are very Lexus-like. beautifully crafted in here, nice materials. There's some carbon fiber on this particular model with leather stitching, all very nicely done. Now the console is quite high in the center, which gives it a sporty kind of wraparound cockpit feel, but it's the back seat that is the biggest surprise for me. You would look at this NX and look at the crop roof and think there's not going to be much headroom back there. But what they've actually been able to accomplish is theater seating. The back seat passengers sit higher than the front seat, but they've sculpted out the headliner and you actually can sit back there. I'm 6 feet tall, no problem in the back seat. The cargo area they claim is longer than most of the competition, but I don't think it's as high because of the sloped rear hatch area. But overall, the interior is a nice surprise. Well, the worldwide launch for this new NX has been right here in and around Whistler, British Columbia. And we've been driving this model through some very twisty roads. And I have to say that it's happiest when you're cruising, and when you push it hard in the corners, you definitely feel quite a bit of body roll. Now, I haven't had a chance to drive the F Sport, and I wish we had, because it's got bigger wheels, a sport suspension with stiffer dampeners, and that certainly would help if you're out on the twisty bits. Also, right out of the pocket, the power isn't really that exhilarating. When you do have the turbocharged spooled up, there's certainly enough power under the hood here. So this new NX is definitely at its core still a Lexus. They're not going to get away from that smooth, refined feel that they're known for. They're adding in a bit of edginess, and they certainly have an edgy looking exterior that they hope is going to attract new buyers to the Lexus brand.